Ich habe nie einen Ort für mich gefunden und ich glaube auch nicht, dass ich jemals einen finden werde. Viele sind ja der Meinung, wir alle sollten einen festen Platz haben, einen festgelegten, durch das Geschlecht bestimmten Ort. Es heißt dann, wir sollen uns in unserem Körper zu Hause fühlen und mit uns im Reinen sein. Für andere mag das eine Möglichkeit sein, aber ich glaube nicht daran. Ich denke vielmehr, falls meine Gedanken dazu überhaupt produktiv sind, aber das müssen andere beurteilen. Ich jedenfalls identifiziere mich nie vollständig mit einer vorgegebenen Position, egal welcher. Ich passe nicht besonders gut in vorgefertigte Kategorien. Andererseits bin ich auch kein Mensch, der all diese Kategorien munter überwindet. Ich bin auch gar keine Verfechterin davon. Für mich ist Geschlecht ein ambivalentes Terrain.
Thank you. Thank you. So hi.
Hello, I'm Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Very Illico.
Oh, good. I hope you know that you're
Yes,
with my friends.
yes, I've been told.
Okay, good.
So we're all settled upstairs.
Okay, lovely. Hi. Bonjour, comment ça va? Très bien. Vous pouvez parler en français si vous voulez. Je comprends presque tout, mais c'est pas facile pour moi.
Pourquoi est-ce que vous avez rassemblé tous ces textes-là qui couvrent une période assez large, en fait,
Oui.
sous le titre Undoing Gender?
Well, I think that another way of naming gender trouble would be doing gender, right? Gender trouble was taken as a text that described the ways in which people did their gender. It described gender as a kind of doing. So it was all about acting, doing, making, becoming. What various ways can we do our gender? What are the various things we can do with gender? And I think maybe in this text, Défaire le genre, I'm asking a different question, which is, first of all, how do the norms that constitute gender do us and undo us? That is to say, they make us, but they also prevent us from making what we would of ourselves. On the other hand, it seems to me we don't want to say, we never want to be undone again. We only want to do ourselves. That's to privilege a certain idea of self-making that I'm also criticizing. We are inevitably undone by other people. We become undone in our relations with others. We don't always know ourselves. We learn something new about ourselves. We have certain conceptions of ourselves challenged in the course of our relationships. And this kind of challenge that comes from the other, we have to be open to this, right? If we knew always what we would become, then we would be finished. We would be dead. We would be over. But I think that part of what it means to be a self is to be open to a future that one cannot know. And it's to be open to a future of oneself, right? Like, what will this self be in the future? But that openness only comes about, I think, through the relations with others.
This year, they have chosen to do the queer action movement in Tel Aviv.
In Tel Aviv, yes, I did hear, yes.
What do you think about this initiative?
Well, my question is whether you can have a struggle for the rights of sexual minorities in Israel that does not consider and oppose unequivocally and strongly the occupation. Now, some people argue, oh, well, if we start talking about the occupation, that will be politically divisive. But the problem is that the occupation is the background for those struggles.
That's the question they're asking.
They must ask it. They must ask it. And And I know many people who have not gone to the gay pride marches there because of that. But I want to know explicitly whether we can look at the problem of rights or of legal entitlements in Israel more profoundly. Who has rights to land? Who has rights to citizenship? Who has rights to freedom of expression, to sexual rights, to rights of partnership? Can we locate the struggle for recognition and rights on the part of sexual minorities in relationship to the disenfranchisement of Palestine? And I think these have to be linked very explicitly and structurally.
Do you think, what would you think it would change in those institutions, such as marriage or parentality, if we had those rights? Do you think that it would change something to marriage, if gay and lesbian had marriage, or it would more change something to gay and lesbians? How is this going to interfere?
Well, I want to answer your question directly, but I'm tempted to take a small detour.
Yes.
I think it's extremely important for a radical sexual movement to keep in mind that marriage is only one way of organizing sexuality and organizing kinship, parenté. And so I think marriage does have to open. I suppose it has to open to any two people who may want to join in a marriage contract, although I don't know why it only is two. Why two?
Why two? Yeah.
Why two?
Why two and not three?
I don't understand the two. But I gather it just feels too radical, for most people to say more than two. But I don't really understand why two. I think we should ask the question.
Three, four,
whatever.
five.
I don't know.
However.
I don't know. But I think that marriage does change. I mean, it doesn't always change when it becomes gay, right? You can have in fact, sometimes it becomes almost parodically traditional. Sometimes there's almost a resurrection of a traditional notion of marriage that no heterosexual is actually living in anymore. Let's hope that these are marriages that breathe. Let's hope they're marriages that are more open. Let's hope they're marriages that are part of a broader social fabric and community. Let's hope that these are marriages that can rethink the relationship between personal life and property relations. Like, do you have to have property in common? How do you raise children if you do? Is it just the two of you? Can it be more? Let's hope that some of the norms that have made marriage into a narrow and restrictive institution can and will change when and if gay people get married.